Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to break down some of the apps you want to be using and then give you an idea for some of the kinds of apps you might want to, consider suggesting for yourselves or, for any clients you might be working with. So as you can see here, we're in the apps section of our admin panel. And, there's a handful of these that Shopify basically just recommends regardless of who you are or what you're doing. And then you can click to open up their app store where they're kind of going to like show whatever they see a lot of people using, what they think is really helpful, some of the different things that you can do in general. I'd really recommend that you just get familiar with these, regardless of whether or not you're going to work with certain kinds of clients. It's good to at least know, because then you're in a position that if somebody asks you a question when you're talking to them about offering your services as an e-commerce certified specialist, you don't want to walk in and then they ask you, well, can you do this? And you're not really sure if you can or you can't. You want to be confident, right? When it comes to selling, it's all about confidence. Confidence comes from being knowledgeable. So first thing anybody should do when they're coming through and they're trying to learn about how to effectively run a store is to come into the app store and just look, right? Get familiar with what all is in here. With that being said, I want to make sure that I'm not just telling you guys how to think about your store, but I want to show you guys some of the apps that I think almost every store should have. So one that's super important, every single store should have this, whether it's through this provider or not. You want to have your support connected to your Shopify store. One that I recommend to people is Zendesk. It's really easy to use. There's a lot of functionality that makes it simple, and it can easily connect a customer support ticket to the store itself. So you don't have to worry about, having information where you can't connect it to a customer. You can always connect it and then add any notes or details you need to add for that customer directly from Zendesk. And Zendesk functions a lot like a regular email inbox. Customer reaches out and says, hey, I have this problem. My order was busted. It was broken. There's something wrong with it, blah, blah, blah. Then you would go in and the customer service rep is able to reach out directly from that response from the customer, say, hey, sorry to hear about that. We want to get that fixed. It's integrated in a way that they can then add a note that goes into Shopify, right? They can then add the information they need so that anyone looking at the order in Shopify knows what happened. The cool thing about Zendesk in particular, though, is it has a lot of functionality around tagging. So you can tag specific orders as, all being related to the same problem. You can actually set up macros in Zendesk so that when you're responding, you can send out a specific macro for very specific problems, automations. If somebody reaches out and you need to, find out if they've been talked to before, like anything that you could think of, Zendesk is really, really robust. It's really versatile. It'll give you all of the functionality customer support's going to need in order to do their jobs effectively. The next one is Klaviyo. Now, Klaviyo is an email provider that is really well integrated with Shopify. This is actually one of the ones that Shopify recommends because of the way that they're set up. And the way that you can use this is really twofold. One is you can use it for marketing, but you can also use it for just day-to-day daily newsletters. Just sending out a, hey, here's who we are, what we do, our company is providing these services, doing these things. FOMO is an interesting app. Essentially, what this is going to do is it'll show when other people are purchasing items on the store. It's really just about social proofing your website so that when customers are here, they're purchasing, they'll see a little pop-up where it says, Joe from Missouri bought this. And then they'll see another one. And so the more time they spend on the site, the more they're able to see how many other people are actually purchasing items similar to them and see that, it's okay. Like they're going to be all right. They can order from the website. Now, the reason this is important goes beyond it just being effective for marketing and sales. What this really does is it just gives people that sense of peace that they're ordering from a website that they can trust. They're in a position that they say, hey, you know what? I'm seeing all these other people are buying from this website. I'm sure I'm going to be okay to buy it. Without them having to think about it, it just allows them to feel at peace and comfortable purchasing. Now this last one is I'm not going to get too in depth because there's a lot in this, and it is something that if you utilize this service in particular, you're going to have a lot of training on this software in particular with the company that provides it, which is ShipHero. Now, ShipHero is really an inventory and warehouse management system with a lot of extra features. First, it'll track your inventory and report that back to your store, as well as reporting it to your warehouse. So what it essentially does is it bridges what's going on online with what's going on in the physical world. Now, beyond that, there's actually a lot of really great functionality in here where you can create like product bundles. Let's say you want to sell something, let's see, the 4th of July is coming up. So you want to sell a 3-pack of 4th of July style hats. And so instead of people paying $10 a piece, they pay $5 a piece to get all 3. What you could then do is actually come into ShipHero and make that bundle. And what'll happen is maybe the customer buys it on the site, ShipHero catches that that's the bundle, and then it translates that to the 3 different SKUs the warehouse needs in order to fill that order. So there's never some confusion where like you start a bundle and you're like, this is going to be great. It gets sent to the warehouse and they're like, what is this, right? Like, I don't understand. We don't have this product at all. It basically just fills that gap for you. The really great thing, in my own experience from ShipHero is that they really go out of the way to provide the time necessary to make sure that you understand everything you can do to use their software and how to use it in a way that really, not just automates a lot of your processes, but puts you in a position that, okay, everything, as long as we put the information in the first time, everything is going to be perfect. We don't have to worry about it getting stuck here or something happening here. The numbers are always going to add up. Beyond that, like I said at the very beginning of this video, honestly, the biggest suggestion I can make when it comes to the kinds of apps you can put in place is to think about the things that you're looking for with the apps and what kinds of customers you want to help with those apps. So to give you an example, do you want an app that is for marketing, that, like FOMO as an example, that helps people to more easily make a buying decision? Or do you want an app that, manages customers more effectively, like Zendesk? So really there's really only 2 or 3 things that you ever really need to look for. Does it make the customer experience better and easier? Does it make marketing and selling easier? And does it allow me to add functionality to my site? When it comes down to like some of the things you can be adding in terms of like custom coding, does it allow me to, going back to functionality, does it allow me to do those things in a way where it doesn't slow my Shopify store down? And, what you really want to do is do the basics, right? Take care of making sure customer service is being done. Email marketing is being done. Social proofing the site is being done. Handling of the inventory. These are really basic things. But other things you can do are, I think I actually added this on here. Let me see if I have it on. I should have it on here. One thing you can do is add an app called Zipify, one-click upsell, right? That's something that will actually, instead of taking your customers to a thank you page, it'll take them to a one-time upsell after they make a purchase. Now, if you have 1,000 people, at least a couple of them are going to take that upsell. It's an easy way to just increase the average order value of every order that you get. That doesn't really take any extra work except just setting the app up. So being aware of stuff like that is going to put you guys in a position that not only are you confident and you're comfortable selling services as an e-commerce certified specialist, but that you also know what you can do should you decide to take this information to build your own store.